Okay, so in this virtual session we will continue with chapter 2. So chapter 2 is XHTML 1.0. Before starting this session, we will review all the topics covered in face-to-face class. So let's begin with HTML. So HTML stands for, HTML is the abbreviation of HTML is the abbreviation of Hypertext Markup Language. Good, Hypertext Markup Language, not markable, markup. And the hypertext, that means text which contains links to other text. And language, a markup language is a language designed for the processing, definition, and presentation of text. Good. After that, when we want create a document, an HTML document, we can use only text node, and we will save the file with an extension. File extension must be, yes, good, an .html as HTML file. After that, an HTML document contains two parts. What are these parts? No, two parts. Yes, so two parts are document type declaration and document instance. Okay, so an HTML document contains document type declaration with doc type and document instance. So the document instance begin with, so the root of document instance is HTML tag. HTML is the root of our document. And the document instance contains also two parts. Under HTML tag we can find two parts. The first one is head and head, and the second one is body and body. Clear? Any questions about HTML document? Okay, so if we want to create a new paragraph in an HTML document, we use the tag P. Good. So P is used to create a new paragraph. And if we want to create a heading in HTML, we use not head, no, not head one. So how we can create headings? So for headings we use H1 or H2 or H3, H4 H5, H6. So we have 6 levels, 6. Okay, H1 is the big one, and H6 is the smallest level of headings. Clear for headings? Okay, if we want to create a table in HTML, table, what are the tags used to create a table in HTML? Not list, table, table. TR to create new row, and TD to create new column, and table to create the whole of the table. You can also use TH to create title of column. TH, yes, TH, like this. Okay, so also in HTML we can create lists. So how we can create in-ordered list? In-ordered. UI, no, not UL or UI. OL for ordered, not in-ordered. I ask for in-ordered. UL, good. So UL plus LI, yes. So when we want to create a list, we use UL, and after that for each item we use LI. And for ordered list with numbers, ordered list, yes, OL plus LI. And if we want to create definition list, definition list, DL, definition list, and DT, good. So DT for the term and for the definition, plus DD, good. So to create definition list we use DL, DT, and DD, good. So now we will investigate others tags like BR. So BR is a tag that represents line break, and BR is an example of empty element. Why it is an empty element? Because if we want to declare BR, we just write BR like this, and after that and. We don't write BR like this and BR. We don't write like this. So we don't have start of tag and end of tag. We have the start and the end in the same tag. So we talk about an empty tag. Okay? So empty tag, that means we will use only one tag, and BR is an example of empty tag. Clear? Okay. So also, if we want to write a text in boldface or in italic, we can use the tag B or the tag I. So if we want to, for example, this text, we want that this text must be bold. So how we can create a bold text in HTML? TH in the table, but here we have a text. Yes, we use B. So here we use like this, B and B. So this text will be bold. This text will be bold. It's clear? Okay, if we want, for example, to write Ali in italic, Ali in italic in HTML, how we can write Ali in italic? Yes, good. We use I here and I here. Any question about bold and italic? Okay, so we can use TT or big or small. There are also tags used to modify the display of the text. So big, TT, small are tags in HTML. So to write horizontal rule, we use HR. So HR to make horizontal rule. Also, HR is an empty element. Let's move now to image. So how we can insert an image with HTML? Yes, this is an horizontal. This one is a horizontal separating line. So if we want to create an horizontal line in your HTML document, we use HR like this. HR. It's clear, Mr. Abdullah? Good. You are welcome. Let's move now to images. So how we can insert an image in our web page? We use the tag image. So image is used like this. This is image and this one is the end of the image. And in the tag image there are some attributes. So how many attributes in this example? We have 3. Good. The first one is the source of the image. So the first one in yellow is the source. So source, we can use http www.w3.org icons, etc. We can also specify the name of the file. The second one is alt. Alt is a text description of the image. We can use also style. We will discuss this attribute when we go to the chapter of CSS. So let's get an example. Also, we can use height and width for dimension of the area that image will occupy. This is an example. If we have, this is our directory, and this is exercise number 1.html. And this one is example.jpg. Okay, so if we want to insert the image example.jpg into our web page exercise number 1.html, what we should write in HTML. So here, this exercise .1, what we must write here in exercise number 1 to insert x.jpg. We must write image, okay, and after that src equal the name of the image, x.jpg. Okay, it's clear. Any question? So you can also add other attributes here. So we can, for example, specify width equal 100 and height equal 200, the dimension of the image. We can also specify alt but we must specify the src. So src, here we must specify this field, src. So to specify the position of the image in the web page, we must use CSS, Cascading Style Sheet. So in the next chapter, we will discuss and we will study how we can modify the position of the image, of a text, of anything in our web page. So we can modify our web page with the CSS. Any question about image? The tag image, it's clear for you how we can insert an image in web page? Yes. So not the original image size. The image will be so the image cannot be modified but when we display this image can be reduced, or we make a zoom in this image based on width and height dimensions. It's clear, Ahmed? Yes. If we have a big image and we want to display this image in a small area in our web page, just we modify width and height. So the image cannot be modified, the original image, but the display of this image in our web page will be modified based on the value of width and on the value of height. In specific dimensions, yes. We specify the dimension of the image. It's clear for you? Any question about image? Good. Okay. Let's move now to hyperlinks. So we talk about hypertext markup language. So hyperlinks are very important in a web page, and hyperlinks are produced by the anchor element. Anchor element, the tag is A. This is our tag A, and A. Okay, let's get an example of how we can create hyperlink. So if we have, this is our web page. And we want to exercise.1 HTML and exercise.2 HTML. Okay, and we want that there is a hyperlink here, exercise number 1. When the customer or the client clicked on exercise 1, we must be so we must link this web page to exercise number 1.html, and for exercise number 2 also we must be transferred there into exercise 2.html. So how we can create this link? So here we suppose that we have in our browser, in our directory, web page .html, exercise.1.html, and exercise2.html. Okay, all the pages are in the same directory. So here, how we can create this link? We write, can you give me how we must write in HTML to create this link? A target blank. No. So A, it's correct. href, it's also correct. Equal. So in href equal, we must specify the name of the resource. So here we write exercise 1.html. Okay. After that, we specify this value, exercise 1. After that, we write and A. I repeat, if we want to create the link exercise.1, so we write a href equal, after that the name of the document, exercise1.html, after that the name of the link. So can you give me how we must create target? Give me the HTML code ahref. Okay, so target, we can delete target. It's not necessary to specify target. Exercise, it's okay for exercise 1. If we want now to prepare the exercise 2, the link of exercise 2, how we can create the link exercise 2? Exercise 2. Not exercise, not x2. There is a difference between the first link and the second one. Here, to prepare exercise 2, we write a href equal exercise 2 dot html, and here we write exercise 2 and A. Yes, good. Yes. So it is clear now how we can create a link. Any question about links? Okay. now we will talk about another type of links. Okay, so anchors A can be used as a source like previous example or destination. So what is the difference between last example and this example? Now we will investigate how we can create a link into the same web page. We talk about internal link. Internal link. So here we will use the same tag A, but in the first one as destination and in the second one as source. So here we will write A with the attribute name, and here we specify the name of this anchor, and in the second one we use href with H for the name section. So let's move to an example. So if we have a web page like this, okay, and here we have paragraph number 1, and here we have paragraph number 2, and we want to create some internal link. So here we create paragraph 1 and paragraph 2. This is a link, this is another link, and we want to, when we click in paragraph 1, we will be moved to the same web page in paragraph 1, and when we click in paragraph 2 we will move in the same page in paragraph 2. So in HTML, how we can create this link? To create this link in HTML, we must use the anchor A, and not with href but with name equal, for example, P1. Not P1, let's for example A, not A, just a moment. Here in the name we will write ABC, okay, paragraph 1 and A. So here we prepare a name to paragraph 1. Also here, so if we want that the paragraph 1, when we click on paragraph 1 we will be moved to P1, here we use a, not name but href equal, and here not exercise1.html but HEBC. and here we write paragraph 1 and A. So if we want to create an internal link in a web page, we use double A, not one double. The first one is with the attribute href. The second one with the attribute name. Also, in the name we will specify a name. The name can be any name, like ABC here. After that, we use this, the H, with the name. It's clear for you how we can create an internal link in the web page. So if we want to create, for example, no problem, Ahmed. If we want to create, for example, the link paragraph 2, so here we will write a name equal, for example, EF P2 and A. Okay, and here we will write a href equal tag, and after that we must write EF paragraph 2 and A. Okay, so for the links, if we want to create a link, we must write a href equal. After equal, we can specify the name of the link. Here we talk about an external link, or we write the H EBC or HEF or H Ahmed or H Ali or H anything. In this case, we will use an internal link. Any question? Any question about links? Href is an attribute. In this attribute, we specify this. That means the value of href is the file. So href is an attribute that specifies the link destination. It's clear? Okay, let's move now to so if we want to if one element is nested with another element, then the content of the inner element is also the content of the outer element. So here, for example, we use TT, and after that in the TT we use another tag, strong. Okay, this is wrong. We cannot write TT strong and TT and after that and strong. So when we specify the link or the source of an image, we can use relative URL. So what is the meaning of relative URL? For example, if we have the tag image, and in this tag we specify src equal this image, valid xhtml 10.png. Okay, so this is an example of a relative URL. It is interpreted relative to the URL of the document that contains the image. So if the document is in this URL, this is our document, then the URL of the image will be here. This is an absolute URL of our image. Okay, any question about relative URL? Have you any question about URL or absolute URL and relative URL? Okay, so let's just move to DTD. So when we talk about an HTML document, there is a part of document declaration and another part to document instance. And in the document declaration, we specify doc type with a DTT file. Yes or no? It's clear here. So in this example, in the doc type, we specify DTT file. This is the DTD file. So what is DTD file? What represents DTD file? This is the question. So DTD is known as document type definition. Document type definition. Okay, and in this DTD there are some rules, some declarations. Yes, good. About element type, attribute list, entity, reference, etc. So this is an example of a rule in DTD. So when we write element HTML head body, this is element type name. That means we can find an element with the name HTML. Yes. Yes. if this is an example of type declaration. So here we declare the HTML element. Okay, so in the DTD we find element like this. After that HTML, after that head and body. Can you give me what's the meaning of head body like this? So head comma body element type content specification. That means HTML contains head and body. We specify how we can create an HTML tag. The HTML element or HTML tag contains head and body. And here when we have element 1 comma element 2 comma element 3 represent this sequence represents a sequence of elements that must appear in the order specified. So let's return to our rule. This rule means our element is an HTML element, and this HTML element contains a head and body, and the head is the first. After that the body is the second. It's clear? Clear or not? Good. This is another example. So in the DTD we can find a rule like this: empty element br empty. So element br is the name of this element, and empty to specify that br cannot contain a content. Okay, so for you just keep an idea about DTD, but you must have a clear idea about tags like table, forms, input type equal text, h1, h2, ul, li, tr, td, th, etc. Okay, any questions? Not space, empty to indicate that br is an empty tag like this. But for example h1, it is not an empty. h1 is a tag that can contain text like this. So h1 is not empty, but br is an empty tag. We use only this tag to specify a line break, not space, line break. Any questions? Okay, so if you don't have any questions, you can leave. Thank you for your attendance and see you next week inshallah.